There's plentiful amazing blocks in Minecraft and a lot of precious ores and gemstones to mine and collect to smelt and craft into powerful items like armour and swords. You can then enchant these items to pack a real punch, Rhodonite, tools and armour. Endgame is a big leap in Minecraft, and at this point there's little to do in terms of standard progression, but Minecraft is a non-linear game, so you can always make new goals or create more stuff to do. One thing is to get higher tiers of tools and armour through mods. Using this new endgame armour and tools mod, you can become pretty overpowered at the end of your journey. The Rhodonite ore is actually in the end and can be gathered with a pickaxe, which drops its dust. You can then smelt this dust in a furnace in order to form the Rhodonite ingots, which you can then craft into the tools and armour by using the same recipe format as most of the other sets in the game. The armour actually gives some nice bonuses and buffs to the player for wearing each piece. For an example, you get creative mode style flight and flying for wearing the armour, and some more cool positive effects. And there's not just a sword, but you can also craft a Rhodonite bow in the mod too. Bedrock Ores. This mod is a nice new world generation type mod that brings a new way to acquire resources in the game that's a little more unexpected than usual. The interesting thing this mod does is that it doesn't just add new ore block types, it actually adds new ore clusters that are contained within bedrock blocks that the player can mine like they would using tools or normal ores. Now the only difference is that the original bedrock blocks don't break when you do this. In this situation, each time a bedrock block is mined, its contained ore inside it reduces until the deposit is empty and it turns back into a normal bedrock block. The further the blocks are in relation to the spawn point of the world, the higher the yield of ores that you can obtain from them. To prevent you having to individually mine every single block, you can also use a brand new machine block from the mod, which is the Bedrock Miner, that automatically harvests bedrock in a 5x3x5 block radius below the position of the machine. Using coal or other fuels, or via a power source connection such as Forge Energy or Redstone Flux inputs, you can use it and it will eject any ores that it collects into the inventory located above the miner, so you'll need to place a chest or hopper or something for it to output its contents too. End metals. If you want the end to be a little more useful, other than just defeating the Ender Dragon, then this mod should give it that needed upgrade. Basically, End Metals adds vanilla and modded ore types into the End dimension, so you don't have to just mine in the overworld. This mod also has support for the Base Metals mod, which I will feature a little later in this video too. This mod adds End versions of iron, lapis lazuli, redstone, coal, gold, diamond and emerald, as well as the ores from the Base Metals mod if you have that installed too, which are copper, tin, lead, silver, zinc, nickel, mercury, platinum, antimony and bismuth ores. These are really nice additions that I think really breathe more life into the end dimension as a whole. Metallurgy. If you've exhausted all of the mining opportunities and gem gathering in the world of Minecraft, this mod is basically an entire overhaul to the mining system in the game by granting 48 plus brand new metals to collect and craft with. This mod also changes the standard height limits for the various ores in the game by removing the height restrictions for a more dynamic level of gameplay. The base metals include copper, tin, bronze, hepatizon, angmelon, Damascus steel, manganese and steel to make items of stone to diamond quality. There's zinc, brass, silver, electrum and platinum as the all new heavy metals to make simple tools with pretty good enchants. In the nether you can gather igneous, shadow iron, lemerite, shadow steel, midasium, viroxaries, sericluses, adlerite, inulashite, calendrite, amordrine, vulcanite and sanguinite, which can be used for different things like smelting fuels and in the new smelter block, which is a new furnace type which is powered by lava. There's promethium, deep iron, infusolium, black steel, auraclase, aradrite, astral silver, carmot, mithril, raubracium, quicksilver, hadaroth, orichalcum, selenagil, adamantite, Atlarus and Tartarite as new fantasy metals of varying strength that are very rare. You can use these with the Abstractor block to transmute old metals into experience orbs. Then in the end there's Eximite, Mutoite and Desichalcos, which can be used for stronger alloys and more. There's simply too much to cover in this mod, from advanced alloys, countless new machines like crusher blocks, and so much more. Just from the amount of ores which I listed in a huge exhausting to listen to list, you can probably guess that this mod is pretty huge, but it's worth adding to your mod pack in my opinion. Ores above diamonds. With 1.16, diamond now has a big brother, netherite. If you always thought diamond was overrated anyway, and always believed that it should have something a little bit better in comparison to it, even before netherite was blessed upon us, then this mod might interest you. This one brings amethyst and black opal gems to the game, which are aimed at the later game phase of Minecraft, which are more powerful and rarer than diamonds are. Amethyst is mined using a diamond pickaxe and is 3 times rarer than diamond, with 50% more efficiency and 1.75 times more durability. Black opals can be mined with an amethyst pick, they're 9 times rarer than diamonds, with a plus 100% efficiency bonus in comparison, and 3.5% more durability than diamond offers. This is a nice mod to add some really strong tool and armor sets to your game. Ore sheep mod. A little different themed mod here to add to this list for some variation. The Ore Sheeps mod lets you teach your sheep to eat stone by inflicting them with a splash potion of weakness and then feeding them diamonds. They will switch up their grass eating habits for grinding stone and rocks instead. They'll basically eat anything that's stone, like buttons or other stone block types. When ore sheep consume ores, they will grow that ore on their back instead of a wool coat. You can then use a pickaxe to shear the sheep to get ores from them. You can breed 2 together with a stone based block to create a baby ore sheep that will then grow one of the ores that one of their parent sheeps is growing. In creative mode, you can also right click an ore on one of these sheep to make it grow that particular type of ore on it, base metals. If you feel like something is missing in Minecraft, base metals add some commonly used elements and metals to the game, like silver, tin, lead, zinc, mercury, nickel and platinum, as well as copper, which is coming officially in Minecraft 1.17 soon. You can craft different metal alloys along with a new tool, the crack hammer, which lets you double your ore production when you're playing. There's also some newer fantasy based metal types added to the nether and the end, which are mithril, star steel, adamantite and cold iron. The thing I like a lot about this mod is that you can make a lot of these metals into metal blocks, trapdoors and each respective door types, metal bar variants and more. It's good for building and for bulking out your world with some new heavy metals. Bedrock Miner. Who hates Bedrock? Okay, now who loves Bedrock? Feelings may be a little mixed. Bedrock is sometimes a little annoying to hit when you mine down, and sometimes it's a dream killer when we want to break free of the world's limits. Well, you can always punch through it in creative mode and fall through an endless void if that's what you want to do. This small mod brings you a new tool set into the game which is based off Bedrock blocks. The new way that you can mine Bedrock is by using the new pickaxe as well as the breaker machine in order to harvest those tricky blocks, which you can then use to make new items and other blocks with. You first locate your bedrock chunks or find them in stronghold chests, which are extremely rare, and then craft the pickaxe to mine the rest of the real bedrock blocks. There's a whole tool set, a new armor set, a new machine and block, and a lot of fun to be had mining bedrock. Basic nether ores. The premise of this mod is to bring the vanilla ores into the nether dimension, a little similar to how one of the mods I featured on this list brings some of the ores and some new ones into the end, but this one does the same for the nether. This upgrades the recently enhanced nether in order to let players spend a little extra time in it by offering the same ore availability that the overworld gives us. You have an extended ability to mine now in the nether due to the other ore types spawning in there. The vanilla ores in the overworld have similar or higher spawn rates than they do now in the nether to match or balance the gameplay, and it makes prospecting in the nether viable and something worth doing now. This is a nice little mod to improve the nether, even after the Minecraft 1.16 the nether update came out, or Prospectors. This awesome little mod adds some little gadgets to the game that lets you search for ore in a nearby radius. When you click on a block, it will search in the opposite direction to attempt to seek out precious ores. The weakest prospector items will let you find coal and iron, with higher level ones letting you find much better level ores. The great thing about this mod is that you can add new blocks and ores into the config file so that you can support custom ores and blocks from other mods you have installed too, which is a nice little touch. such, SimpleOres. This mod is a relatively small sized mod that had to take a space on this list for how useful it is in extending the vanilla game. Basically, it adds a collection of 5 brand new ores to the game: copper, tin, mithril, adamantium and onyx. Onyx is a special ore that can be found within the Nether, whilst the other ores are all within the overworld. This mod also adds the unique armour and sets of tools as well as weapons to all of these ores too. This mod is good for making the mining and advancing system in the game a little different for those who have already played the game over many times already. If you've already created countless of survival worlds or defeated the Ender Dragon multiple times, then maybe you just want to change the variation of how you advance in the game and just change the whole system in general. This mod improves it by adding a selection of new ores that you can find and craft into new gear to make the Minecraft game slightly different to vanilla. Divergent Underground. The Divergent Underground mod is a series of additions and expansions to the underground system in Minecraft. It aims to blend itself in well with vanilla Minecraft and be simple and semi-realistic. The mod replaces the drops of naturally generated rocks with an item drop to make it more realistic. The gemstones now drop uncut versions instead of perfect gems, and they must be manually cut with a chisel item to create their perfect gem, which will also grant experience. The mod also adds 4 different layers known as strata layers to the block generation layout underground, meaning as you go further down mining, the stone blocks become darker and darker. There's a lot of different new additions, changes and mechanics in this mod that are pretty complicated to explain, but it also supports a lot of ores from popular mods out there, some which are thermal expansion, biomes o'plenty, quark, mechanism, tinker's construct, forestry and a few more mods. Lucky Ores. The Lucky Ores mod is basically the mining version of the famous Lucky Blocks mod. Basically it adds Lucky Ores instead of Lucky Blocks, which is a way to integrate Lucky Blocks into the game in a more realistic and streamlined way. When mined, these ores trigger random events just like Lucky Blocks, and generate naturally in the world just like any other ore in the vanilla game. For those who love the concept and gameplay of Lucky Blocks, perhaps you've played the Lucky Block data pack or the Lucky Blocks mod in the past, then this mod makes the game more fun by adding 2 blocks and items to the game. The 2 Lucky Block ores are the mysterious glowing ore and also the eerie glowing ore, which both sound pretty magical. That's one reason why the mod is good, because it makes the ores which are added more like magical ores rather than just random blocks which trigger events like Lucky Blocks do, so it makes it more realistic in a fantasy kind of way. Check out the mod if you want to have fun and see what's in store as a surprise for you. EXP Ore. This mod adds a brand new ore block called EXP Ore that adds 1 new simple block to the game which stores and grants XP when broken. When you destroy one of these blocks by mining it, it will give you experience. It gives you around 500 to 1500 experience per block mined, and it's also fully configurable, meaning if you want to change the XP you get or any of the other properties, then you can do. It's basically another way of adding XP gaining to the game, but also in a different way. Sometimes gaining XP from the simple mining method by mining for a long time or by defeating mobs and doing the other tasks in the game can take quite long, so this mod can make the process just a little bit quicker. Who knows, maybe you'll get lucky. If you mine for a long time, you might find a lot of these EXP blocks and in turn level up quite quickly to quite a high level. But remember, in Minecraft, if you do die, you will lose your level, so just be careful of that lava when mining. Vulcanite Ore. I featured this mod in my video called 8 Minecraft mods that improve the Nether dimension, but it had to take another place on this list in this video because of how great it is. It basically adds a brand new ore into the Nether dimension's depths called Vulcanite, which can be mined with an iron pickaxe or any tier higher such as gold or diamond. The properties of this ore are very similar to iron, but the properties of the armour and tools make it just that little bit better. Each armour piece you craft from Vulcanite reduces your damage from lava sources, such as lava itself, fire and magma blocks, by a specific percentage margin. However, what's really cool is that if you have a full armour set, it will reduce your damage from these sources by over 70%, making lava in the Nether less dangerous when exploring, and basically meaning you can explore the Nether without worrying too much. The sword and tools also deal 15% more damage to fire immune mobs, and perhaps the coolest feature in this mod is that when you mine ores with a pickaxe, it instantly smelts the ore after mining it. So, for an example, when you mine iron ore, it will drop an iron ingot, not an actual iron ore block. So so it removes the whole purpose of having to smelt them in a furnace later, saving you a lot of time. Dense ores. This mod adds a brand new variation of each and every vanilla ore in Minecraft by adding new so-called dense versions, which will drop around 3 times the amount of the regular ore version, making them far more valuable to find and extending the variation and difference in the types of ores you can find. The game will generate around 1 to 10 of these blocks per chunk, which will replace other ores generated, but they are slightly more rare to find and definitely pay off by granting you far more drops than standard vanilla ore veins. This is a nice little mod to add a little variation to the ores that you find underground to make it have more of a payoff to mine for longer periods of time in the game, especially when you're thinking about finding the dense ores. At the start of the game, making a full set of diamond armor and tools can take a long time, so adding a mod to increase the size of ore veins is something that will really help your gameplay when playing Minecraft survival mode. Netherending Ores. On any list of ore and gems mods, you need to have an expansive upgrade for ores in other dimensions, not just the overworld, which is the purpose of Netherending Ores. This mod adds brand new ores to the nether, but also to the end dimension too. The mod is highly configurable in terms of smelting recipes for the furnace to match up to standard vanilla ores. Basically, it adds the standard coal, iron, gold, diamond, lapis, redstone and quartz to the other dimensions that they don't already exist in, such as adding all of the standard overworld ores to the nether and some to the end, as well as quartz to the overworld. The reason why I really like this mod is just because it makes the other dimensions in the game actually beneficial and useful in terms of mining, also making more reason to go there and less reasons to have to always come back when you need to get ores. It's a mod which really adds features that should already be in the game. Advanced Finders. This one is a pretty unique mod, which is why I featured it here in this video. Basically, the Advanced Finders mod adds brand new compass items which will help you target and find nearby ores, gems and metals much more easily than without them. It displays the direction to nearby ores around the player and detects ores at a very low depth, as well as making a signal when large ore deposits are found. The mod actually also works really well on servers if you're running a modded Minecraft server or making a mod pack to support multiplayer. There's a range of different finder items for different types of ores. There is an iron, gold and diamond finder for an example, each which is slightly harder to craft than the previous tier. The mod already supports a pretty large and diverse list of other ore mods, but you can also add custom ores from other mods or your own mods by creating configs for them in the mod folder. Most of the best mods are configurable and Advanced Finders is definitely one of them. Large ore deposits. The Large Ore Deposits mod basically adds brand new huge ore veins into the world. These veins are quite rare, but if you find them, it's a huge payoff. These super ore vein deposits are much larger than standard ore veins, and you will really feel like you hit the jackpot if you find diamonds. Although the concept of this mod is very similar to the Dense Ores mod, it doesn't just add more dense or compact variants that grant more drops. These large ore deposits are exactly what it says in the mod title. They are large ore deposits, just much more larger veins of ores which are added into the game. You can configure the whole mod and add support for other modded ores and control the generation of these deposits, as well as more options. It basically makes the Minecraft mining experience more exciting by adding the potential of finding these rare sets of ores when you're exploring. Especially if you run multiple mods off this list at once, your Minecraft experience will be truly great. Ore Excavation.
To save some serious time, this mod lets you mine entire whole veins of ore at once, but it also behaves as a tree capitator mod by letting you also cut down whole trees or perform other tool-based actions in one single go. These can be configured super simply. This mod lets you mine entire ore veins, cut down whole trees, bulk harvest and excavate almost any configured block. It works with almost every single modded tool if it's tagged correctly as one, and you can blacklist both blocks and tools. The great thing is that you can configure the speed, size, distance and durability cost of the excavation actions, which can all be configured in the in-game mod menu, letting you customize shaped mining and block grouping. This is a really great mod for convenience, and it makes things so much more straightforward and saves a lot of time.
I featured this mod on some of my other top 10 Minecraft mod videos because it's one of the best utility mods out there. It also falls under the ore and gems mods because it's all about mining in this mod. It takes inspiration from other mods out there such as Tree Capitator, and also is similar to mods such as Trees Don't Float, which is slightly newer, but it's also better. Basically, the Ore Excavation mod will enhance and improve your mining experience by allowing you to set a keybind in the options menu, which when activated whilst mining, will mine every single ore block that's connected to each other at one time. In simpler terms, instead of breaking just one block per time you mine, it will break the entire ore vein together at once, which is really useful and it saves a whole bunch of time when mining. Not only can you mine all ores, you can also use it to cut whole trees down or break other blocks at the same time of the same block type. But beware, because it also works on random blocks as well. You can mine all cobblestone, all wood, all grass at once, or all dirt. Basically it works for any block in the game, which is why you have a blacklist and whitelist and config to set up the mod, because it really accompanies the game well. But if you don't want it to break the game or cause a few bugs, then you should definitely add some of the standard blocks to the blacklist so it doesn't get activated in this mod.
Scannable. This handy future tech based mod is a smart addition for any explorer's toolset. This scanner item lets you survey nearby points of interest, offering visualized scan results for a short period in a readable manner that highlights important fundamentals in your world as on-screen overlays. The scanner supports up to 3 modules at once. Optional modules include animal detection to see entities, monster detection, entity detection for specific ones, fluid detection, block detection, a range booster, and also the two that we're mainly focusing on here, which is a common ore detection for blocks like coal and iron, and rare ore detection for others like gold and diamonds. This mod offers a useful method of locating ores a little bit easier without being too overpowered like the X-ray mod. Actually, additions. This mod that adds various useful new utilities, machines and foods has a very useful set of tools that can be applied for the use of mining blocks. What I'm talking about is actually additions drills that can be used to break blocks at the cost of 100 crystal flux energy per block, which is restored by charging them in an energizer or a CF charging device. These drills can also be dyed in order to distinguish them from others with a unique color, and various different upgrades can be installed into them by shift right clicking when holding a drill item. These drills contain 5 separate upgrade slots, although lower tiers of each upgrade type must be installed in order to install the higher tier one. You can place single batteries or other battery types in these slots in order to pull energy from those batteries rather than the CF energy option. The upgrades let you change the speed, add silk touch, fortune, and mining augments or block placing abilities to the drills to improve them in some way. Bedrock Miner. Bedrock is not usually mineable, so a very powerful utility would be the means of mining it, right? Well, with this small mod you can acquire a stable toolset that includes both a new pickaxe as well as a breaker machine block, which both allow for the mining of bedrock. Interesting. So if you want to finally reveal the void and meddle with the powers that be, gather this resource and use it to craft a few new items and blocks whilst you're at it. You'll need to find bedrock chunks in a mineshaft or in stronghold chests as a rare loot drop and craft bedrock blocks with them. With these you can make the pickaxe to then mine real bedrock in your world and get access to the other items and blocks that it adds. The mod features both new tools and armor of the highest durability but the lowest enchantability for balance, as well as new blocks and the new machine to harvest bedrock and all the other blocks when you activate it. Mining lantern. In order to offer another method of casting light from the player, the mining lantern mod offers a simple item to do this using special shaders, meaning it's not exactly a real Minecraft light and thus will not affect mob spawning. The mining lantern will display on the player's back and it will change texture depending on if it's activated or not, and it can also function as a trinket which fits into a slot if you're using the bauble mod and that's present. Using the default key, which is V, or a rebinded keybind, you can activate this item to toggle it simply on or off, and it will cast light around you in order to explore more easily. Night vision mining hats. If you're too lazy to put up torches or simply don't have the means of crafting hundreds of them, be it due to a lack of materials or any other reason, you can use this mod to craft a collection of 3 different mining hats which can be used for navigating the depths below your world in the deep dark chasms. This mod offers the iron, the gold, and the diamond night vision hats, or mining hats that offer a night vision buff which lets you see underground without other means of illuminating it. Each one is crafted with the base or based helmet and then with the 3 glowstone blocks and 2 redstone blocks surrounding it. MiningTweaks. This mod bases itself around a config file which can also be edited within the in-game GUI config editor. It basically behaves as a mod that lets you fully customize the hardness and resistance levels of any of the blocks in the vanilla based game or contained with any running mods in order to make them harder or easier to mine, affecting their mining level cycle and changing how they naturally behave. This is particularly good for modpack authors wanting to change the game, or for people who want to make some of the base ores a little harder to gather, for an example. If you're looking to make the game into a total conversion and switch things up a little bit, you may want to get this mod to edit properties. Mining goggles. Everyone's heard of X-ray. Hey, I've even made a bunch of tutorials on how to use that mod, or the texture pack versions. But what this mod does is it bridges the X-ray cheat with an actual in-game item that can be applied to a real in-game situation and be used by the player to achieve a similar result to using X-ray. The mining goggles makes ore prospecting far easier by letting you visualize ores by rendering the ores visually, and are all fully modular with buffs for mining purposes using the game's ore dictionary. These nifty little things will let you visualize ores from a distance or through blocks, letting you see them through stone, for an example, although it can also be used for other blocks like wood for locating trees. You equip these goggles in the helmet slot and access the filter menu using the B key, where you can then add an ore dictionary entry to the coloured filter boxes, where you can add multiple entries and a corresponding colour for the rendering outline of that ore block. Mining gadgets. For a change of pace when excavating, let's focus on some technology. The Mining Gadgets mod offers something different to the usual options of pickaxes, drills, bores, robots, or quarries. Lasers. You can use lasers with this mod, which perform as a series of different powered lasers which you can craft and use to eviscerate the surrounding terrain. The amazing part of this mod is that you can upgrade them with different perks and modifiers that make them far more effective or useful with gadgets that gravitate all broken blocks and dropped items towards you, for an example. This is an amazing and unique mod that everyone needs to take for a spin at least once, and it's not your typical resource gathering mod because it switches things up. Buildcraft. Buildcraft is one of the greatest technology mods of all time, in my humble opinion, although the reason I'm featuring it in this particular list is for the single machine that it beholds, the quarry. The quarry is the ultimate mining tool for the collection and gathering of ores and underground blocks. The quarry is super simple to set up. You just use a set of 4 markers on the area of construction and then place down a quarry block. The quarry needs transport pipes connected to it if you want to link it up to a chest to transfer and store items that it will mine. Then you need an engine, preferably a set of engines. You can use redstone engines, although they're cheap to run, they're also prone to overheat. Oil-based combustion engines, although more expensive and require natural resources, are far more reliable, and using multiple engines works best. The quarry frame will then slowly build when activated, and then the drill will form and slowly mine layers and rows of stone in the configured area and mine them down below. Although it's a lot slower than manual player mining and less targeted, it's amazing for automated mining with minimal effort.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you disagree with the top ore and gemstone mods in this video and you think I missed your favourite mining mod, then definitely let me know what that is in the comments section below so I can feature it next time. If you want to see more top 10 Minecraft videos like this, subscribe to the channel with the notifications turned on by clicking the bell so you don't miss out on daily uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.